身テラこと藤原ひかりさんによります。私たちはどう生きるか、親愛なる日本の皆様です。テラ、よろしくお願いいたします。
私たちはどう生きるか。親愛なる2026年2月21日、日本の皆様、拝啓、春の訪れが待ち遠しい今日この頃、2026年2月21日の皆様はいかがお過ごしでしょうか。こちらの時代では梅の花がきれいに咲き始めております。さて本題に入ろうと思います。日本の未来はどのような国になっているんでしょうか。笑顔あふれた素晴らしい国になっているんでしょうか。人々はどのような暮らしをどのようにお過ごしなんでしょうか。日本の良き文化は確かに残っているんでしょうか。私は皆様に伝えたいことがたくさんあります。本日は私たちが大切にしている日本について知っていただきたく、私の書き残したものを孫であるテラが代わって申し上げます。よろしくお願いします。明治38年、明治を生きる私たちより。
先ほど曽祖父である新藤父母よりご紹介をいただきましたひ孫のテラこと藤原ひかりです。あっぱれ、あな面白、あな楽し、あなさやけ、オケ。Once upon a time, there was a saying. 人多き人の中にも人ぞなき、人となれ人、人となせ人。What does this mean? Are we all born as human beings? No, unfortunately, that is not what Jesus was saying. There are many people in this world, but only a few are widely respected as he is a good person, a truly admirable person. Therefore, you got to be a person with integrity as well. Then guide the people to be like that. Simply, that is a meaning for what I mentioned. So, how can we be someone like that? To help you find your own answer to this question, I will talk about two concepts passed down in Japan since ancient times: on and jo. These two ideas make the form of the foundation of morality. Please look at the kanji character. Toku, virtue, from the word dotoku. In traditional Japanese thinking, virtue was also understood as 14 principles to keep in mind when interacting with others. You may wonder, why 14, right? That is because it is made up of two sets of 7. The 7 on, taught in Buddhism, and the 7 jo, taught in Shinto. By combining these 7 on and jo, they became the foundation of Japanese morality, enabling people to support one another, understand one another, and stay connected. First, let me talk about on. When you hear the word on, what comes to mind? Many people might think of it simply as gratitude, saying thank you. But the word on carries a deeper meaning. The 7 on are as follows. First, the on of heaven, earth, and nature. Second, the on of the nation and the emperor. Recently, on social media, we often see posts such as the emperor lives on taxpayers' money or the imperial system should be abolished. However, the emperor has existed since 660 BC. It marks 2,686 years since the enthronement of the first emperor. Thus, Japan is the oldest nation in the world. The emperor is a descendant of Amaterasu Omikami and is also called the Son of Heaven. In the constitution of the Empire of Japan, the emperor is described as follows. Japan is a country governed by the emperor. Many assume this means a ruler who dominates the people, but the word translated as govern is not the original expression. The original term is shirasu. It means a nation where the emperor takes deep interest in the land and the people and knows them well. This comes from Japanese mythology. Long ago, Amaterasu Omikami gave the 3 sacred treasures to her grandson and said, "This is a land to be shirasu. Descend to the earth and come to know the land." In other words, this refers to the gratitude we owe to the emperor who knows, guides, and watches over the nation and the people. The awe of parents, the awe of teachers and mentors, the awe of friends, the awe of relatives, the awe of society and those around us. You are surrounded by countless forms of awe. Yet, we tend to take the various forms of gratitude we owe for granted. An ordinary everyday life, an ordinary meal, an ordinary family, an ordinary friends, an ordinary safety. But these all are a series of miracles. And those miracles are built upon an accumulation of countless acts of awe. Someone raises you, someone produces what you use, someone protects you, someone supports you. True gratitude is unseen blessing, and to replace that on. That is what on truly means. Once you become aware of on, you might suddenly feel the world is full of gentleness and warmth. Next, let me talk about joy. Joy refers to 3 things all grounded in consideration for others: circumstances, affection, and emotion. 7 joy are as follows. the job between parent and child, the job between husband and wife, the job between master and disciple, the job between siblings, the joy of friendship, the joy toward neighbors. The joy toward all living beings. We live by ciphering countless forms of life. Only human beings can try to understand what others think, feel, and how they act. When we are able to understand another person's circumstances, our hearts change. Anger, softness, misunderstanding, unravel, and conflict transform into connection. Understanding is the greatest kindness. This is the core wisdom of joy. Even if you fail, you can start again. What matters is aiming to be a person with integrity and striving to live kindly no matter the circumstances. Now, let us return to the opening words. Even among many people, there may be no true humanity. Be truly human. Make human to be a human. To notice on, to hold joy, and to turn them into action. That is how gradually become a person with integrity, rooted in the morality cherished by the Japanese of Meiji era. I love Japan. From now on, I will live by following the example of those who fought desperately to protect Japan. I will earnestly put the teaching of Japan's predecessors into action and make choices that uphold Japan's moral values.
現在の日本は財政、失踪、軍備、外交、すべての面において危機に直面している。この日本を起こすも倒すも令和の人の責任である。若き君らはこのことを肝に銘じて過ちなきよう国家社会に貢献してほしい。よろしく頼む。
おっと、最高のメッセージが届きましたね。どれどれ、この声の主はなんと日本愛国のボス遠山満様からのメッセージでした。なんて？もう時間のようです。では最後に一つの問いを残して終わります。あなたはこれからどう生きたいですか？ Thank you for listening.
ありがとうございました。平田先生、could you please give us some comment?
Yes. All right, Tera. Thank you for your speech. I know there's a lot of differences between Western morality and Eastern morality. And I studied mostly Western morality and ethics in university. So it is kind of interesting to always hear these differences about like Eastern philosophy and Western philosophy when it comes to morality. And I do agree with you that social media has kind of, over the last 20, 30 years, started to break down these traditions of morality and ethics that we used to actually hold and consider to be important, because there's a lot of what's called irreverence, the inability to respect things and regard them as sacred. And that the internet is filled with that. And I see that, like, recently, even amongst the elections that you see, is like a lot of these new political parties, they're on these, they're trying to get people to vote in a way that isn't in this moral or ethic way. And it's because it's fueled by all this vitriol, this hate from online, because people are irreverent and don't respect things that should be sacred. And the thing that reminds me of how Japan should be regarding this kind of morality and ethics, and I brought this up in our debate, in our last debate, from a Japanese philosopher, I think it's Watsuji Tetsuo, said that social harmony is only achieved when everyone is part of the chain of relationships. But if everyone continues to exclude other people because they think they're more virtuous or that they have more higher moral fiber, then you start excluding people and destroying the very moral foundation that has been built over the, of course, 2,860 years, as you said, with the emperor and everything. So I believe that what you're saying is very important, and I hope that this will inspire other people to also uphold those ideals. Thank you.
Thank you.
学院長コメントをお願いいたします。
いいスピーチでしたね。すごい力ですよね。亡くなったおじいちゃんの声も呼び戻せて、しかも右翼のね頂点にあった遠山満さんも説得できるというんだから、いやーこれ君のパワーでなすしかないと思うんですけど、今彼が話したいろんな日本の考え方と東洋の考え方のいろんな違いを今説明しましたけど、おそらく本当の意味で何がメッセージなのかっていうこと、天皇のメッセージとかね、遠山満のメッセージとか、君のおじいちゃんのメッセージとかがおそらくね1000個ね極端な人から伝わっただけであって、僕右とか左とかいうのすごい嫌いなんですけど、でも中道じゃないんですよ。僕が好きなのは真理が好きなんですよね。だから何が真理なのかを語る人っていなくて、日本のことを語ると右翼と言われるし、今度は日本はそうじゃないかなというと左翼と言われるし、なんか訳のわからない分け方をされてね、ディスカッションディベートをしているようなね変な世界になってしまったところが問題で、やっぱり仏教のね7音とね、それから神道の7条って本当に大切だと思うんですね。やっぱりそういうものを君が研究するから、おそらく天国からおじいちゃんが見てて、今日のスピーチにパワーを上げなきゃいけないなと思ったんですね。刑務所にいじられて右翼右翼と言われた遠山満さん、面白いこといろいろ言ってる人ですよね。この遠山満さんからもメッセージもらえたんだと思うんですね。他の人はもらえないので、こういうメッセージはありがたいことだと思います。ご苦労様でした。
Thank you.
ありがとうございました。